Hey everybody, Stacy here with Pitch Deck Buyer, and I'm so glad you guys have joined us for another one of our pitch hacks of the week this week. If you haven't been with us before, we covered tips and tricks on pitching, pitch decks, sales decks, investor decks, and live presentations. So if you're a startup looking for funding or an established company looking for new customers, maybe you're even in an accelerator or an incubator program within a company, all of you guys can find value in pitch hacks here. So let's hop right into it. What's this week's pitch hack of the week? All right. This week we have, what is the business model canvas? So what is a business model canvas? Let's just hop right into that first, and then let's talk about how you might put together one and some more resources that you can access to be able to put together your own business model canvas and maybe how you might use it, okay? So step one, what is a business model canvas? So it's basically this chart, and I'll show it on the screen here in a second. It's a chart, it's sort of like a rectangle, and it has various boxes of information that are consistent. And so based on your particular business or business model, you would fill out this chart essentially. It's a very, very common chart. It's a very visual chart, so it gives you an opportunity to kind of see where different parts of your business kind of connect to each other. And that connection can then lead you into understanding how to manage your customers, stakeholders, and those sorts of things, and keep an eye out for what is the most kind of value add piece of your business and how it is successful. Every business and business model is different, and the business model canvas can help explain that in more detail. And oftentimes it can be a unique little artifact which you can show to like a mentor that it has more information about your company and kind of gives this sort of high level view of it. So business model canvas, in the very center of the business model canvas there is the value proposition, unique value proposition. And so that's the exact thing that you do that is unique to you that no other company can do, and why you are valuable as a company. It is the most unique value proposition of your company, right? And so that's sort of the linchpin or the center point, if you will, of this whole business model canvas. Then on the right side, you're going to have everything that relates to your customer side of your business and your revenue side of your business. So the column directly to the right of your value proposition is going to have your customer relationships and your channels. And so your customer relationships is talking about how you build a relationship with your customers, how you actually create a relationship, if it's blogs, or you have a program that they get invested into, or whatever it is. It's how you create and build that relationship with your customers, knowing in fact that you might have more than one customer group. Keep that in mind. Then you also have channels, which is the channels in which you sell to your customers, how you reach them. Maybe you sell it direct over online, maybe you sell through wholesale, maybe you have a completely different model that's more digital. There's lots of different channels in which you would reach your customer, and so that's what you want to list under channels. So the farthest right column is customer segments. In that column, you want to make sure you list off your different customer segments. You may just have one, you might be selling direct to one customer, but it's very likely or very possible that you have multiple customer groups. And so with multiple customer groups, an example of that would be like a platform-based model. So let's imagine the Uber of dog walking. That's a good example that I use. I'm sure it's an actual company now, or companies, but Uber of dog walking, you can imagine kind of what that does. So maybe you have dog walkers and dog owners that are connected on this app. So both dog walkers and dog owners, they are customer segments. And so you would want to list both of them and who that person is that we're selling to in each of those customer segments. So that's that column. Now underneath all of that on the right side is revenue. So it'd be revenue based on the various customer groups, and then maybe revenue based on the various channels that you would get customers through. Okay, so that's the whole revenue customer half. Now on the left side, we have a whole other half of your business, which is basically how you actually provide that solution and that product to your customers. So directly to the right, we've got a column that has key activities and key resources. So key activities would be, what are the key activities that you do to make sure that you are able to provide the solution that you provide? It might be how you do some of that customer relationship management. It might be how you actually produce the product. It might be how you have relationships with other parties. And then key resources, of course, is going to have the key resources that you use to provide your product. Maybe it's a good production facility, maybe it's the tools and technology that you use to provide your solution, maybe it's even your dev team. Right? So it's what are the resources that you use to provide these solutions, key activities that you do, and the resources that you use. And then further to the left, the furthest left column is going to be key partners. So key partners is the relationships you have with key parties and stakeholders outside of your company that enable you to do all of this, that enable you to achieve the activities that you achieve, to acquire or use the resources that you use, and in the end provide the product that you're selling to the customer and the whole experience that they have with your company. And of course, at the bottom of that, there's one more box, which is the cost structure. And so in the cost structure, you want to make sure you lay out what are the actual costs for the component parts of your product and things like that. So the whole left side of the business model canvas is providing the information that we need for how we actually produce the item that we sell, whatever that is, whether it's a physical item or digital or an experience, whatever it is, it's how we produce that. And the whole right side of the column is who we sell to and how we make our money. And so the business model canvas, what it really helps do is to show sort of the whole business and the various component parts and stakeholders and how they connect. You might even draw arrows and lines and things like that to show how these things relate to each other, and it can provide more information to yourself when you're thinking about your own company and how it works, as well as to other stakeholders to give them some insight into your company from the outside. And then of course that linchpin in the middle there is value proposition, which is one of the biggest things you need to know about your company. And what you might want to do after you've filled out your whole business model canvas is reassess if that value proposition that you first thought was your value proposition is in fact your value proposition. It's possible you didn't know it, and as you start going through it, you realize you have a different, unique value proposition than you thought in the beginning, which is really valuable to find out about and be able to push and sell and understand as you build and grow your company. So business model canvas, really interesting thing to go through. If you haven't done it for your company, go ahead and do so. There's a whole book that goes along with it, talks about different business models, might give you new ideas for how to structure your own company. So check that out. I'm gonna have a link down in the description below for you to check it out. But it's a really interesting book and very much worth a read. When you put together your business model canvas, you can definitely use it for many things. One very, very strong caveat that I have is please, 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 please do not put your whole filled out business model canvas as a slide in your pitch deck. That does not work. It is a very valuable document to have and to put together, and it may inform how you put together other slides in your deck. But please, please, please do not put the actual business model canvas in as a slide in your deck because it's too much information. It's too complicated for a presentation. So please keep it out. Use it though in other ways, but know that you should not put that in your actual presentation. But I think it's a really valuable thing for you to do for your company regardless. So hopefully that answers your question for what is a business model canvas and maybe gives you a little bit more information on how to use it. If you guys have any thoughts on how you use a business model canvas or what's valuable about the business model canvas, or maybe you don't like the business model canvas, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Join us again next week. We do new pitch hacks every single week. If you have an idea for an upcoming pitch hack, we have a link down below as well. So hopefully I'll see you guys here again soon. Give us a little thumbs up or subscribe and you'll find out about the next pitch hack that we have. So thank you for joining me. Again, I'm Stacy with Pitch Deck Fire. We'll see you again next time. Happy pitching.